Media and Information Literacy and Integrating Media Literacy in the Curriculum. According to Moscow Declaration on Media and Information Literacy in the year 2012, MIL is a combination of knowledge, attitudes, skills, and practices required to access, analyze, evaluate, use, produce, and communicate information and knowledge in creative, legal, and ethical ways that respect human rights. While UNESCO, on the other hand, defines it as the set of competencies to search, critically evaluate, use, and contribute information and media content wisely, the knowledge of one's rights online, refraining from cyberbullying, understanding related ethical issues, and engaging with media and ICTs to promote equality, free expression, intercultural, interreligious dialogue, peace, etc.
So now let's tackle about the aspects of MIL. According to Reineck and Lubinsky, MIL is a product of media that requires flexible skills to access and use technology, right attribute, dealing with ICT, and media and the credibility of the information, content visible in media that can be accessed by everyone. While according to UNESCO 2011, MIL is accessing information efficiently and effectively, means that we should have the skills and attribute to delve into various media platforms responsibly. We are aware of fake news that is circulating. We must have to possess the ability to identify credible information and make use of media effectively. Well, according to BAC 1996, MIL requires compositional skills and involves competence. Stated that MIL should not focus only on gaining information, but to impose competence. It involves consumer and participants of such media to not only produce, access, but it requires active and increasing participation. According to Moeller, 2009, MIL emphasizes the views of consumer towards media not only to make use of the various media platforms but to identify its function to address global issues. And lastly, based on Norbert Groben, 2002, MIL emphasizes the essence of knowledge dealing with media such as its effects, content, and context. Also, it gives an idea to develop and enhance required skills and attitude and to be critical and responsible consumer.
Shapiro and Hughes, 1996, identified the 7 dimensions of media information literacy. 1. Tool literacy. This is the ability to understand and use practical and conceptual tools of current information technology, including software, hardware, and multimedia that are relevant to education and areas of work and professional life. We must be literate and learn how to use the tools of current information technology, especially it is necessary in our works and school purposes, to make it easier to gather and make some informations related to your work. 2. Resource literacy. This is the ability to understand the form, format, location, and access methods of information resources. There are many kinds of information resources when you access them. That's why sometimes it's confusing or maybe it will bring you in high risk when you accessing this kind of information resources. So we must be literate about this. 3. Social structural literacy. This is knowing how information is socially situated and produced, fits into the life of groups about the institutions and social networks. Research literacy. It is the ability to understand and use IT-based tools relevant to the work of researchers and scholars that include computer software for quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and simulation. Researchers are now using IT-based tools to make a research that include computer software to analyze the research they made. Publishing literacy. It is the ability to format and publish research and ideas electronically. in textual and multimedia forms. Your ideas and information can be published in many media platforms. So, if you want to publish some news, article blogs, and many more, you have to be literate in publishing electronically. Emerging technology literacy. It is the ability to adapt, to understand, evaluate, and use emerging innovations in information technology. We must adjust in this world where using information technology is relevant to your everyday life. 7. Lastly, critical literacy. It is the ability to evaluate critically the intellectual, human and social strengths and weaknesses, potentials and limits, benefits and costs, information technologies. We must think critically and be aware of using information technology and analyze every information you get and what information you will gonna make.
Now, let us discuss the advantages and disadvantages of media.
Media is a powerful tool in terms of communication which entails a positive and negative impact in our society and into ourselves. So the first advantage of media is that media educate people on health matters, environmental conservation, and others through various forms. Number two, people get the latest news in a very short time, regardless of distance. Number three, people can bring out their hidden talents in the multimedia and visual arts, comedy, acting, dancing, and singing. Number four, media increase knowledge learned from quiz programs, educational shows, and other information-giving programs. Number five, people feel convenient in accessing information through mobile phones. Number six, they become a vehicle in promoting products toward increased sales. Number seven, they serve as a good source of entertainment rather. Number eight, television allows electronic duplication of information that reduces mass education costing. Number nine, media lead to diffusion of diverse cultures and cultural practices. And lastly, they help people around the world understand each other and respect differences.
So now let's tackle about the disadvantages of media. Number 1. They lead to individualism. Spending too much time on the internet and watching television usually impedes socialization with friends, family, and others. So number 2, some media contents are not suitable for children. Limiting children's access to such content can be difficult. Parents should take action to these issues since it can really affect their children. Especially media's content nowadays are not suitable for children. Number 3. A newspaper is geographically selective. Sometimes newspaper can give misinformation, perhaps because something was shared before it's verified. Number 4, the increase in advertisements in television and radio makes them less attractive. Number 7, media can cause health hazards such as radiation effects, poor eyesight, hearing defects, and others. So number 5, the internet can be a possible way of scams, fraud, and hacking. So number 6, media can be addictive that may result in people's decreased productivity. Number 8, they may induce drugs and alcohol use. It glamorizes drugs and alcohol. Some programs make the use of these things appear cool. Like for example, you saw a group of people having fun while partying, using drugs and drinking alcohol. You'll be curious of how does it taste or how does it feel because of how glamorous those things. So number 9, they can lead to personal injury by imitating the stunts showcased in media. For example, you saw the stunts that are being showcased in the media and decide to follow or try it, and without the prior knowledge about this may cause or lead to your personal injury. Number 10. They can ruin reputation through an anonymous account, malicious scandals, false accusations, and rumors. So, media has many advantages, but it also has its limits. Is it up to us, the users, to decide to use it wisely for the best impact?
Integrating media literacy in the curriculum. Lynch presents 6 ways to integrate media literacy into the classroom for students to become media literate while making media education a meaningful and integrated part of classroom practice.
Teach students to evaluate media. So, for example, teachers need to discuss bias and sources by showing students that media changes depending on who produces it, who the intended audience is, and what biases may be attributed to the source. This helps students learn to evaluate what they are viewing.
Show students where to find digital resources and databases. Nowadays, the spread of fake news or misleading information is very fast. That is why it is important to critically assess sources because they help you become trustworthy and credible. Especially when you are trying to relay information to others. If you use unreliable resources to your work, it might damage your credibility. Examples of reliable sources are peer-reviewed journals, government agencies, research websites, and professional organizations.
So number 3, compare, contrast various media sources. In the discussions, distinguish various media sources and compare elements. So media is the one who helps us in everyday life. We can see media everywhere, especially on the internet, TV, radio, or even in the printed materials.
Number 4. Discuss how the media edits and alters. Purposely point out to students examples of media altering photographs or stories while teaching them to be critical to what they see or read at face value. Example of these are the memes, fake news, and etc. It can also be called photo manipulation, nearly as old as photography itself, but modern technology has made it common and easy to do. Users can make themselves look however they like in just a few moments. But because they're represented as reality, these edited images can affect our mental well-being.
Number 5. Examine the truth in advertisements. Students should know what is real or fake in terms of buying or choosing things. A media literate individual should have this ability to identify which is real or what we call legit. We are now in a modern world wherein any platforms in media is present. Because of that, fake news or scam is also present.
Have students create media. As students go to a higher level of education, knowledge about creating presentations, videos, and websites could really help them to pursue and overcome their chosen courses, especially when their lessons is related in reporting, encoding, and creating digital projects. It is better for the students to have a prior knowledge about creating media as early as in 6th grade.
That is all about our topic, and here are the members of Group 2. Katampan, Demihilio, Filimiano, Francisco, Garcia, Herada, Inay, Labagani, Lamunda, Madeja, and Mantok. Thank you for listening.